10 a.m. by the studio clock. You're watching Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with Breakfast News. Let's start straight away with the headlines. Spain, France and several other countries launched tax evasion probe after Panama Papers leak. US reviewing documents. India sets up multi-agency group probe after 500 Indian names figure in the list. RBI's first bi-monthly policy review today. Finance Minister pictures for rates cuts. Centre tells Supreme Court it does not back demand for minority status for the Aligarh Muslim University. Apex Court gives 8 weeks time to file application of withdrawal. Petrol prices hiked by 2 rupees 19 paise a litre and diesel by 98 paise per litre, effective since midnight. And India reacts sharply to US President Barack Obama's statement on concerns over nuclear proliferation in subcontinent. Says remark indicates lack of understanding of India's defence posture. Top story, the Panama Papers, a list of offshore accounts, have sent shock waves among the rich and the powerful across the world. Being described as the world's biggest leak, these documents have also taken India by storm. At least 500 top-shot Indians figure in the list, including film stars and well-known industrialists. The government has welcomed the expose, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi immediately directing a multi-agency monitoring group to be set up to thoroughly probe the secret list put out in public domain by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. The reverberations of the Panama leaks were felt in the corridors of power in Delhi. The papers include names of at least 500 Indians, mostly the rich and the famous, some of them with high political connections. Taking cognizance of what's been described as the world's biggest leak, Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself ordered an investigation into the report. A team of experts on tax and foreign exchange transactions has been set up to thoroughly probe the flow of information in each one of the cases.
We have constituted a multi-agency group to monitor all the information and to collect further information in this regard. That multi-agency group will comprise of various government agencies which deal with this subject, the CBDT, the FIU, the FT and TR, as also the representatives of the Reserve Bank. They will continuously monitor these, and whichever accounts are found to be unlawful, strict action as per existing law is going to be taken against them.
The Panama Papers list boasts of prominent names from the film industry like megastar Amitabh Bachchan, his daughter-in-law Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, a former Miss World, billionaire property baron and DLF owner Kushal Pal Singh, billionaire real estate magnate Sameer Gehlot, and industrialist Gautam Adani's brother Vinod Adani. Two politicians, Shishir Bajoria from West Bengal and Anurag Kejriwal, the former chief of the Delhi unit of the Lok Satta party, also figure in the list. The revelations claim that these high-profile people used a law firm in Panama to set up offshore entities in tax havens across the world. Officers of these individuals have termed the Panama leaks baseless and untrue. Now, in the wake of the Panama bombshell, political pressure is also mounting on the government.
This gives an indication why for 2 years the promise made by the Prime Minister during the election campaign that all the black money will be unearthed, and he claimed then that we know whose accounts are where and all that money will come. And if you remember, all of us were promised 15 lakhs into our accounts. But for 2 years, nothing has happened.
मामला बहुत गंभीर है। सरकार ने काले धन को वापस लाने का वादा किया था, प्रधानमंत्री ने स्वयं किया था, तो इसकी जांच करना सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है।
With regard to the legality or the illegality of the action of these entities. So therefore, the question of legality and illegality in the case of each transaction would have to be gone into, whether somebody has broken the extant laws of the land or has done something which the law allows. So therefore, this is an issue which needs to be looked at extremely carefully.
The Panama leaks come at a time when the Special Investigation Team on Black Money, headed by former Supreme Court Judge M.B. Shah, is finalizing its new action taken report. In fact, the formation of the SIT was the very first decision taken by the Narendra Modi government in May 2014, soon after it came to power. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in the wake of that massive leak, several countries have launched a probe following revelations of offshore accounts by many of its prominent figures. While Russia has said that the leak was primarily aimed at targeting the country and its president, the United States has called for furthering the cause of transparency. The law firm in the center of the leak has denounced the attack on privacy.
Spain, France and several other countries launching tax evasion probes after the massive leak of confidential documents being called the Panama Papers. World figures, including close associates of Russian President Vladimir Putin, relatives of Chinese President Xi Jinping, Iceland's Prime Minister and Barcelona striker Lionel Messi figure in the list. Iceland's opposition has called for a snap election. The Prime Minister, however, has said he won't resign.
Certainly won't, because what we've seen is the fact that, well, my wife has always paid her taxes.
Ukraine's President Petro Poroshenko has defended his record after the leak, saying he is transparent about his finances. Moscow has slammed the leak, saying it is an attack aimed primarily at the Russian president. Kremlin also claiming that former CIA officials helped analyze the papers. Argentine President Mauricio Macri has said the operation for which his name appeared in the document leak was legal.
Particular de lo que a mí me compete es una operación legal hecha por otra persona, constituyendo una sociedad offshore para invertir en Brasil, inversión que finalmente no se hizo y donde yo estaba puesto como director.
While French President François Hollande pledged an investigation into compatriots caught in the leak, Germany has called for keeping up the pressure on countries like Panama.
Et pour ce qui concerne les révélations qui peuvent être faites et qui peuvent mettre en cause des personnalités françaises, sachez bien que les contrôles se feront, les actions seront engagées et la justice sera saisie.
Uns ist klar, der Druck der Staatengemeinschaft muss auf solche Länder wie möglicherweise Panama unverändert hoch bleiben, damit sie weitere Schritte auf dem Gebiet tun, dem Gebiet der Herstellung von Transparenz.
Pakistan has denied any wrongdoing by the Nawaz Sharif family.
गैर कानूनी काम उन बच्चों ने नहीं किया, उनका हर एसेट जो है वो कानून के मुताबिक है, वाइट मनी से स्टैब्लिश किया गया है और वाइट मनी से ग्रोथ है उसकी, उस पे जो टैक्सेस हैं वो दोनों बच्चे अपने टैक्सेस भी अदा करते हैं.
Panama has reaffirmed its commitment to transparency, something that even the White House says it advocates.
Somos un aliado de todos los países en la lucha por la transparencia del sistema financiero del país. Y damos, no solo nuestro país, de todos los países del mundo, y damos la bienvenida.
I tell you that the United States continues to be a leading advocate for increased transparency in the international financial system and in working against illicit financial transactions and in fighting corruption.
The head of the law firm at the center of the massive leak has said the firm has fallen victim to an international campaign against privacy.
Nos hackearon limitadamente, fue un hackeo, y estamos ahora mismo investigando. Y también ya hemos denunciado ante las autoridades para llevar, es un delito grave el hackeo. La privacidad se está perdiendo en el mundo. Yo creo que es un derecho humano que las...
A year-long investigation into a trove of 11.5 million documents from the law firm Mossack Fonseca led to the revelations. The documents was anonymously leaked to a German daily and shared with more than 100 media groups by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
So just like the Swiss leaks last year, the Panama leaks this time around have taken the world by storm. Moving on, back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Stand Up India initiative today in Noida. The Prime Minister will distribute e-rickshaws under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana on this occasion. UP Governor Ram Nayak, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, Union Minister of State for Culture and Tourism Dr. Mahesh Sharma and Union Minister of State for Finance Jayant Sinha will also be present on this occasion. Now, the Stand Up India initiative is aimed at promoting entrepreneurship among the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and women by facilitating loans in the range of 10 lakh to 1 crore rupees. Each branch of a scheduled commercial bank will facilitate at least 2 such loans. A web portal will also be launched for the initiative to enable online registration and support services. The Prime Minister will flag off 5,100 e-rickshaws on this occasion. He will also interact with the beneficiaries besides inaugurating a Kaushal Vikas Kendra. And now time for our election-related news in our special segment, Verdict 2016. Soon after the first phase of polling got completed in Assam yesterday, an IED blast near the BJP office in Goalpara district left 2 people dead and over 20 injured. The explosive was reportedly placed in a bag on the footpath that exploded, causing panic, after which the police cordoned off the area. Suspected Ulfa militants carried out the explosion, which also injured 21 others, including 4 policemen. The injured were taken to hospital, where the condition of 14 people is stated to be critical. The blast took place after Assam had a peaceful polling with nearly 80% voter turnout in the first phase of polling for 65 of the 126 assembly constituencies. Now, Goalpara is among the 61 constituencies going to polls in the second phase on the 11th of April. Some more election-related news in this quick election wrap. The Congress High Command has announced a list of 83 candidates for the Kerala Assembly elections. Chief Minister Oomen Chandi, Home Minister Ramesh Chennithala and former Chief Minister K. Karunakaran's son K. Muralidharan figure on the list. Rahul Gandhi leaves a clear imprint on the list, with several names of young leaders also being included. Kerala Congress M, the third largest constituent in the ruling UDF, has announced its candidates for the 16th May Assembly elections. The party will contest 15 seats and all party MLAs will contest from their sitting seats. While party leader KK Mani will contest from his stronghold Pala, its lone representative in the government PJ Joseph will seek mandate from Thodapuza. AIADMK has also named candidates for 227 seats for the 16th May elections. The list indicates AIADMK virtually going it alone by leaving only 7 seats for smaller allies. Jayalalitha also announced that she would be seeking re-election from RK Nagar. BJP President Amit Shah, who is campaigning for the assembly elections in Assam, will address 4 public meetings in the state today. He will first hold meetings in Nalbari and Dharampur. He is also slated to address meetings in Palashbari and Mangaldai later in the day. The Election Commission has said that it is considering the demand by opposition parties in Kerala for the removal of Kolkata Police Chief Rajiv Kumar. The poll body assured that a decision will be conveyed at an appropriate time. BJP and Congress had recently moved the Election Commission seeking removal of Kumar, alleging that he is close to West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, and accused him of snooping on opposition leaders, bureaucrats as well as journalists. And on to Tamil Nadu. Ending intense negotiations spread over weeks, the DMK allotted its key ally, the Congress, 41 seats for the 16th May Assembly polls. Now, the discussions to identify the constituencies that each of them would contest on will begin later.
The Congress party will contest 41 seats in the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls as part of the seat-sharing agreement with the DMK. The deal was struck after days of negotiations between DMK chief M. Karunanidhi and senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad in Chennai on Monday.
I'm sure that under the leadership of, at the national level, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, and at the state level, under the leadership of our DMK leader Karunanidhi ji, will be able to form the government. And I have seen that for the last few decades, it is never before, is never that the AIDMK has been power for 2 consecutive times.
எத்தனை தொகுதிகளில் காங்கிரஸ் கட்சி போட்டியிடுவதென முடிவு செய்யப்பட்டு 41 தொகுதிகளில் போட்டியிடுவதற்கான முடிவு செய்யப்பட்டு அதற்கான ஒப்பந்தம் இன்றைக்கு கையெழுத்தாகி இருக்கிறது.
Both the parties have haggled over seats for some time now, with the Congress asking for 63 seats, but DMK only willing to offer about 25 to 30 seats. The Congress wasn't in a position to bargain for more seats as the faction led by former Union Minister G.K. Vasan left the party to form the TMC. The agreement comes against the background of intense bilateral discussions between the DMK and the Congress. Also, TNCC held a series of discussions with its state and central leadership. Recently, TNCC chief EVKS Elangovan held talks with party Vice President Rahul Gandhi as well over the issue. It was decided by the Tamil Nadu Congress to push for at least 45 seats and in a worst case scenario climb down a few seats and conclude the deal, and it has worked out as was expected.
The major share number will go to DMK, but there are other allies also. The DMK has already tied up with number of other political parties.
In the 234 seats in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, the DMK has allotted 54 seats to its allies. The Congress has been allotted 41 seats, MMK and IUML 5 seats each, and other smaller parties like the PMK, TNP, WP, VTK and SSP were given 1 seat each. These parties will contest under the DMK's Rising Sun symbol. Tamil Nadu will go to polls on the 16th of May in a single-phase election, and counting of votes will take place on the 19th of May. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
We'll take a short break here on Breakfast News. More news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Subhash Chandra Bose gave a revolutionary edge to India's freedom struggle. Netaji, as he was popularly known, was elected Congress president twice, but left the organization in 1939 following differences with Mahatma Gandhi. He founded the Forward Bloc and the Kisan Sabha before leaving for Singapore to organize the Indian National Army. After failing to secure Soviet Union support for India's freedom struggle, he joined hands with Germany and Japan to fight the British. His slogans Dilli Chalo and Jai Hind energized millions of youngsters in India. Bose went missing in 1945 after a plane crash in Taiwan.
Thanks for staying with us on Breakfast News. Now, the RBI will unveil its first bi-monthly policy review for this fiscal today, amid expectations of a 0.25 to 0.50% cut in interest rates to boost industrial growth and economy. At its sixth and the fiscal's final bi-monthly monetary policy review in February, RBI kept its key lending rate unchanged at 6.75%. RBI Chief Raghuram Rajan is now expected to cut interest rates by at least 0.25 percentage point on the back of the union budget. Meanwhile, a day ahead of the review, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley pitched for easier monetary policy. He argued that high interest rates can make the economy sluggish. Addressing the CII annual session, Jaitley said that the government had stuck to fiscal deficit commitments and kept inflation under control. He hoped that the movement would continue in order to make the economy more competitive with more competitive interest rates. The Finance Minister also stressed that the debate on crucial economic issues like interest rates should move in the right direction in India. He also said that issues of people who are dependent on interest income, like retired professionals, could be addressed by pension funds. Listen in.
And it's extremely important that we continue the pace of change and reform so that at a time when growth returns to the rest of the world, it will only accelerate the point where we've reached at the present moment. If in adverse circumstances India can maintain its present rates of growth, when growth returns to the rest of the world, to expedite that process should not be very challenging as far as India is concerned.
The Congress party has denied that it is trying to block the proposed goods and services tax bill. A senior party leader, Anand Sharma, has said that there are some genuine concerns that have been raised by the party regarding the bill. He said that the party's concerns are over issues of surcharge, inbuilt dispute redressal mechanism, and a realistic cap on the proposed tax. He, however, said that the opposition will have a meeting point with the government over the issue. Sharma also added that the centre's engagement with the opposition cannot be over the passage of one bill alone. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during his recent visit to Saudi Arabia, had told investors that the GST was about to happen and that they can look forward to an easier business environment and stable tax regime in India.
The engagement with the opposition.
And petrol prices have been hiked by 2 rupees 19 paise a litre and diesel by 98 paise per litre. The rate changes are effective from midnight tonight. Petrol in Delhi will now cost 61 rupees 87 paise per litre. Similarly, 1 litre of diesel will now cost 49 rupees 31 paise. The hike comes on the back of steep 3 rupees 7 paise a litre increase on the 17th of March and 1 rupee 90 paise per litre hike in diesel rates. Now, while this is the second straight increase in petrol price, this is the fourth straight fortnightly increase in diesel rates. The 3 hikes in diesel rates since February 16 total to 3 rupees 65 paise per litre. Shifting focus, the centre has taken a view opposite to that of the previous UPA government in the Supreme Court over the Aligarh Muslim University issue. The centre has told the apex court that it does not favour minority institution tag for the AMU, as it would override the verdict of a constitution bench that held that it is a central university. The centre, through the Attorney General, informed the court that it will not support the AMU in challenging the Allahabad High Court verdict, holding the university as a non-minority institution. An appeal was filed against this order by the Manmohan Singh regime in 2006 in the apex court. Now, the apex court has given the centre 8 weeks' time to file an application along with an affidavit to withdraw the appeal filed by the previous government. The court also allowed the AMU to file a counter affidavit to the centre's stand. The matter has now been posted for hearing after the summer vacations.
Deeply disappointed. I can understand why this government is doing this. For very narrow ideological positions that they hold. But I think that there is also a fundamental lack of understanding about our constitutional values. And I think that this is really sad. I think that this has to be contested vigorously, and this has to be resisted vigorously.
See, as far as Aligarh Muslim University is concerned, this is a legal and a technical issue and has to be seen through the prism of legality, not through rhetorics of politics. In 1967, a constitution bench of the Supreme Court in the famous Aziz Bhasha versus the Union of India had stated that the Aligarh Muslim University was established by an act of the parliament in 1920, and that's the reason as to why it cannot have a minority tag.
And in some political news from Bihar, the RJD has inducted its controversial former MP Mohammad Shahabuddin into the party's new national executive, something that has triggered a political storm. Shahabuddin has been in jail for over a decade for charges including kidnapping and murder. The move has triggered a political slugfest, with the opposition BJP slamming the government for giving protection to strongmen in the state. Shahabuddin's return is being cited by the BJP as another sign of worsening law and order situation in Bihar since the Nitish Kumar government joined hands with Lalu Yadav and came together to form a government after last year's election. RJD Supremo on Monday had released the names of 77 members of the National Committee of the party that included former Siwan Lok Sabha MP and Musselman Mohammad Shahabuddin as well. Shahabuddin was granted bail from the Patna High Court just last week in a case related to the killing of 2 brothers by drenching them in acid 12 years ago. The RJD, however, justified its decision, saying the ex-MP's appeals are pending in higher courts and that it was up to the party to decide whom to induct or exclude. Former Bihar Chief Minister Rabri Devi also pointed out that there are several tainted BJP MPs and MLAs who are still members of the party.
पहले अपना गुंडा का संहारा ना बीजेपी अपना गुंडा को इस्तीफा दिलवाने का काम करे। अमित शाह किस हक पर बैठे हुए हैं, किस हैसियत से बैठे हुए हैं अमित शाह का इस्तीफा दिलवाना।
पार्टी का मामला है और राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी जो पार्टी के पदाधिकारी लोग हैं, जो प्रदेश अध्यक्ष हैं, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष हैं, जो उनका निर्णय है वो सर्वोपरि होगा और इसमें हम लोग की क्या राय हो सकती है।
अब नीतीश कुमार को बताना चाहिए कि उनके सहयोगी दल की राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारिणी में एक सजा याफ्ता एक अपराधी उनके राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारिणी का सदस्य है, तो ऐसी स्थिति में बिहार में कानून का राज कैसे कायम होगा।
And in some other significant news, India has reacted critically to US President Barack Obama's comments, asking it to reduce its nuclear arsenal. Now, the Foreign Ministry has said that Obama's statement indicates there seems to be a lack of understanding of the country's defense posture. External Affairs Minister spokesperson Vikas Swarup also said, conventionally, India, which has no first-use nuclear weapons policy, has never initiated military action against any neighbor. Now, Obama had, during the Nuclear Security Summit last week, said that both India and Pakistan's nuclear proliferation is an area of concern and that the countries need to make progress in reducing their nuclear arsenal.
The other area where I think we need to see progress is Pakistan and India, that subcontinent, making sure that as they develop military doctrines, that they are not continually moving in the wrong direction.
And time now for all the sporting action in Sportsbeat. India's star batsman Virat Kohli maintained his #1 position in the ICC T20 batsman rankings. Kohli, who was adjudged player of the tournament, leads Australia's second-ranked Aaron Finch by 86 points. Team India too retained its #1 position. World T20 champions West Indies moved up to the second spot, while runners-up England slipped to the 4th place. Pakistan Cricket Board disbanded its national selection committee in the wake of the team's debacle in the Asia Cup and the just concluded World T20 cricket tournament. The selection committee, headed by Harun Rashid, was disbanded with immediate effect on the recommendations of the fact-finding committee. Earlier, Pakistan's head coach Waqar Younis also stepped down from his post. Football club Chelsea have appointed Italy boss Antonio Conte as the new first-team head coach. Former Juventus boss will begin a 3-year contract after his country takes part in Euro 2016. Meanwhile, Gus Hiddink, who replaced the sacked Jose Mourinho, will remain in charge of the Blues until the end of the season. Bayern Munich will host Benfica in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final tie. Bayern are the favourites for the tie and have not lost to their opponents in 6 meetings. In another quarter-final tie, defending champions Barcelona will take on Spanish rivals Atletico Madrid. Barcelona will look to recover from the Saturday's 1-2 defeat in the El Clasico against Real Madrid. And that's all we have time for in this bulletin. Thanks.